Hi supporters, hi everyone, greetings to you all around the world from Pemba, Mozambique. I just felt like instead of writing a newsletter this time that I would record a quick video. Newsletters take quite a lot of time, so I thought this was the best way to communicate to you what's going on in Pemba here at the moment. Some of you may, who have been following me on Facebook, may have seen me sharing some updates, some news articles about what's been happening here in Pemba the last couple of weeks. I returned home from Finland a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of days later there was an attack 5 hours north of here in a village by a extremist group. They beheaded 10 people and made quite a statement about their plans and what they do. That at that stage was quite shocking because it's an area that I used to live in, and although 5 hours away, still very close to Pemba. I used to drive there quite frequently, back and forth from Pemba a couple of years ago. Since then, there has been multiple violent break-ins here in Pemba, and some people might think, well, that's probably normal, you live in Africa. Pemba, up until now, has been a very idyllic seaside piece of paradise, really. You get petty crime and you do get some break-ins, but not to this scale, because the break-ins we've been seeing have been groups of about 10 armed men targeting specifically Westerners for things like telephones, computers and cash. Some people have been really very hurt, and there have been guards killed. So this started happening last week, which has left everybody here feeling really quite unsafe. But the worst part is that this group that did the attacks north of here have continued to come down the coast to Pemba. Since then, they've killed 32 people in different villages. And we've just got word last night that they're sitting in a village, or not sitting, but in a village outside of Pemba, which is only from my house to there 20 minutes drive. It's a little village where we would normally go to buy vegetables that then all come into Pemba. We've seen a village with 200 houses burnt down, cars lit on fire, and more people beheaded. Excuse me, sorry. We've also seen them, heard that they've been taking women to be their wives forcibly. So the community here is extremely shaken. People are extremely scared, and has left us feeling very unsettled. Now, I'm grateful because I have had you guys and so many people around the world praying for us. I know we've been on prayer chains of countless churches, and I'm so grateful. I want to say firstly thank you for standing beside me in this time of need, because coming from New Zealand, I have never experienced anything like this before in my life. And yes, I live in Africa, and yes, I've been in some dangerous situations before, but nothing like this. Not when an extremist terrorist group is approaching the place in which you live. We've actually moved house now from the house we were in, which was by the beach in a beautiful big property, but we had no neighbours. So we've moved here, which is down to like the main beach, surrounded by restaurants and hotels, and just down from the police station to the Liberty House. So we're here now, but this last week I've been taking a lot of time to really weigh up the situation here right now, and seek really good advice, not just opinion but advice. So I've not only had my intercessor team praying, but I've also been looking at reports from professional intel companies, other companies here in Pemba which are getting informed information. Proper information, and just looking at what's happening. And to make a decision to leave somewhere like this is the hardest decision I have had to make. Leaving New Zealand and not knowing where I was going to live as a solo woman was nothing compared to this. But I have come to the decision that it's best to leave Pemba for now. God showed me, and when I was in Finland, that I was approaching a season of rest. I've been on the mission field for just over 3 years now, and this is the normal period of time when somebody would take either a home assignment or a furlough for 6 months and itinerate, so have rest and visit churches and raise more support. And so God had shown me within the last 3 weeks that I'm going into a season of this, and that I've basically reached a limit of how far I can go solo in leading the Liberty Project, and that we need to come under the another organization, spiritual covering, resources, equipping, people for me to be able to call when big decisions are made, and not just having to be the decision maker for those who come to serve this organization. So the plan was for me in August to have gone to South Africa for 6 months, with the program still running here, but for me to equip under another organisation that I will share more about at a later time, that we're going to come under, and we're going to work together to strengthen what we do here in Pemba to a much deeper level. It's going to be an entire new season with a much greater impact, and I'm really excited about it. It's going to be incredible, and more along the lines of where God had initially spoken to me about where the Liberty Project would be going, but I'll speak to you about that another time. But so this last week I have seen people being taken out of Pemba for various circumstances, other missionaries, people that I know, and it seems to be at this particular time God is moving people out of here for circumstances that are out of their control. And I started to really just wonder how many people need to tell me that maybe I should consider leaving before I actually consider leaving. You know, it's a very hard decision, especially as Christians, because we know that God is our protector and He is our peace. And oh boy, I have felt the peace of God in this last week. So although I will admit there has been some extremely scary moments and some sleepless nights, but overall we're holding up so much better compared to other people who are literally not sleeping. But I'm hearing reports at the moment of people here in Pemba on different beaches, people being killed at large companies. And I just found out today that another big missions organisation here who has a missions school here, the government is not allowing them to stay on beyond this point in this current situation. So 300 students are leaving Pemba in the next week. So last night, Ida, who is a missionary with the Liberty Project, who's here in Pemba right now, we both prayed and we just asked the Lord, if you want us to go, what day do you want us to go? And we had asked together that God would confirm to us the right day. And we went away and we prayed and we came back. And we both shared at the same time what day God had said to us, and we believe that He both said Sunday. So tomorrow I am flying out of Pemba, Ida too. We're both flying to Maputo, which is the capital city in the south of Mozambique. It's far away, so it's far removed. It's a 3-day drive from here to there, so far removed from Pemba right now, with the intention of going through the process of applying for the visa for South Africa, which as a New Zealander I have to do, and then carrying on from there to Joburg, where I will join this other organisation, not join but have meetings with, volunteer with, learn from, be equipped with, as well as entering into a time of hopefully joining a local church there and being able to solidify a relationship with myself as a missionary, but also the Liberty Project going forward, so that I actually have a ascending church. But I really have a desire to get in with Christian community and just recharge and refresh after these last 3 years. They've been demanding years, they've been challenging years, they've been incredible years, they've been fast-paced years, they've been all sorts of crazy stuff years, and I feel like this is a time where God wants me to slow down and just focus on equipping, resting, recharging, partnering, and coming back stronger than ever to step into this new season. It's been a very hard decision to make, you guys. I have gone backwards and forwards for the last 2 weeks about whether I should stay or whether I should go. And just watching and seeing what's happening, the activity around us, I just thought, how long do I have to wait before it's I realized that it's time to go. And if you leave it too late, the reality is that where we live, we might only have one flight leaving a day. So to be able to even get out in an emergency situation would be very, very difficult. I've had several calls from the New Zealand consulate here asking me to leave over the last 2 weeks, telling me that it's not safe there and that I should definitely consider leaving and definitely just take a break for now and assess the situation before going back. So it's been a really difficult decision because I don't want to feel, I almost feel like, well, what if I'm overreacting and what if it's going to be okay? But the reality is nobody knows what tomorrow holds. And one of my prayer intercessors said, fight to live another day, Laura. You know, like, this is the beginning of your ministry. And I felt like this is the beginning of my ministry and I will not be taken out prematurely. This is not a case of being persecuted for my faith. I personally, Laura, am not being attacked, but it's a situation of civil unrest and it's a situation of danger where the government are not necessarily allowing people to stay here right now that are visitors. So we're going to go to Maputo and we're going to stay in a missions guest house there, and I'm going to do all the work I need to do to get my affairs sorted here in Mozambique to be able to go for 6 months. And I'm super grateful to have Ida at my side right now. She's come here to serve me in this ministry, and you know, right now it doesn't look like what we thought it would look like, and I personally feel terrible for that. But on the same hand, I am so grateful that she is here, because to be able to be going through this time by myself would be incredibly difficult. So she's serving this ministry in such a valuable way, such a way we never thought she would. But just to have her at my side is not only a great comfort, but it's wisdom, and it's somebody else that can help me in this time of decision making. So I'm super grateful for her. So please keep praying for both of us. I do have a prayer request that you would pray for support for myself and for Ida. She's just here for another until the end of July. But as I am leaving things still here in Pemba, we do have the project still running with our local staff and with people who are choosing to remain here. So it's going to be a scaled down version, but the girls will be getting together a couple of times a week and continuing discipleship and identity and art, and hopefully health and sewing as well. So even though I'm not going to be here, the girls, it's so on my heart that these girls continue to get together and have the support that they need. And so it's a major blessing that this is going to continue. And so that when I come back, it's just going to be strength to strength, basically. But I would like to ask you to pray for and consider giving. Money is always a hard topic, but as a missionary, I live on a very small, very humble local budget for my life here in Mozambique. And as I go to Johannesburg or to Maputo, I will be paying not only the normal living costs of rent here, I still need to continue to pay my guard so that he will keep the house safe. I've still got high living costs, but I will also need to pay rent, transport, phone, food, all of these things in Johannesburg, South Africa. And because I will be staying there for 6 months, I'll be needing a furnished apartment or somewhere safe. Joburg, it's a little bit ironic that I'm going from here to there, because Johannesburg is a very dangerous city too, but it's way more equipped. So there are many safe places that you can stay. Here, right now, we're not equipped to deal with what's being thrown this way. Nobody is here. So I really just ask for your prayers that God will provide either a place that somebody will host me for this time. That would be just the biggest blessing, to be able to stay in someone's granny flat or something like that, where I can pay for utilities or even make a donation towards rent. Looking online about the cost of an apartment in a good secure area that comes furnished, I'm looking at about 1,200 New Zealand dollars a month. 12 to 1,400 New Zealand dollars a month. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze again. But it's a lot, guys. That's nearly the entire missions budget that I have per month. That doesn't include getting around. I won't have a vehicle down there, so I'll need to pay for taxis. probably Ubers and some public transport, but the public transport in South Africa is not very reliable or safe either. So yeah, I just ask that if you feel it on your heart, will you please give? I will put a link with this post where you can give to PayPal or to my New Zealand bank account. If you wish to give through the Liberty Project, you can also through our website for specifically for me in this time as I work to further our ministry in Johannesburg. Thank you guys who partner with me, because this work is yours too. You are a partner in the harvest, and this is your project as much as it is my project. We're in it together, and I couldn't be here doing what I was doing, and the ladies wouldn't be able to be here in this project if it wasn't for you who choose to partner and to sow into this ministry. Every little bit counts. Guys, if you got $5 to give, the Lord is going to bless that and He is going to multiply it. So I just thank you. Don't ever be embarrassed to give a little if that's all you have. I had a little old lady walk up to me in Finland and tuck $10 in my hand, or in Ida's hand actually, and said, "It's for Laura." You know, and this was a pensioner. She had very little to give, and it was the hardest €10 that I've ever had to receive. I wanted to give it back to her, honestly. I almost felt like she needed it more than me, but that was humbling, and that woman knows where she is building up her treasures, and that is in heaven. And it's also in the lives of those who prosper from having different opportunities to be free, to learn, to grow, and to know Jesus. So I thank you for those who partner with me, and I really ask that you guys pray about giving to this time for provision for accommodation. It's going to cost me to stay in Maputo for 3 weeks. It's about 30 New Zealand dollars a night at a missions guest house, and it doesn't seem a lot. It's actually very cheap, but it all adds up on top of my rent that I'm currently paying here in Pemba as well. So yeah, I just wanted to update you guys and let you know, and I just want to thank you for your prayers. Keep praying for us. The next thing you'll hear from me is what's happening in Maputo. We would really love opportunity to partner and to meet with some ministries there that are also doing the same work as I do. I really want to make the most of this time. I hope to visit some shops down there to see if they're interested in the collective Africa as well. So just please pray for open doors, and that God will just, you know, He's always good at surprising, and He is good at exceeding expectations. So my prayer is that He will exceed expectations of this time, and that He will open doors that only He can open. But yeah, I just thank you guys for your support, and keep praying for those who are here, because the situation is very, very serious. Very, very, very serious. I was sitting at dinner tonight, and across the bay there was huge smoke, and as the sun went down we could see blazing fires. And whether it be true or not, the waiter said that's a village that's currently on fire. The Islamic terrorists, they're over there now, and I mean, it's unconfirmed, but that's what's been happening just north of here, burning villages, and yeah, it's just awful. So will you please pray for these people who can't just get on a plane, who don't have the luxury to get on a plane and go somewhere else? My heart really, really goes out to them. Yeah. Your prayers are so much appreciated for me and for everybody else. God bless you guys. Loads and loads of love. If you've got questions, or if you'd like to get in contact with me, my email is also below. lauramonahan.nz@gmail.com. Loads of love. God bless. Ciao.